Hey guys, it's good to see you all. PieTheYummy here. I'm here today with the other editor, Frango. He's editing the intro right now, I hope. I hope he is. If he's not, Gus, what are you doing? What are you doing, Gus? If you guys have any video projects and you need an editor, please reach out to Gus. He can do free work or paid work, whatever he wants to do. I'm gonna leave his email in the video description. Thank you, Gus. Today, we are talking about something that isn't Roblox. Yeah, we are expanding on this channel. We are exploring bigger things. So yeah, I hope that's cool and exciting, and I hope you're hyped, because in today's video, we're gonna be talking about controversial video games. Oh god! Why? I don't know. I just wanna. Is that okay? If that's okay with you, sit back, relax. We're gonna get into it. Just a quick warning before we get into it. I think my microphone was a little bit too loud at the start. So if the video starts and I'm like, it's because my microphone was set a little bit too high. But I did turn it down quite early in the video. So yeah, let's get on with it. I'm rambling. Let's get on with it. Okay, so Hong Kong 97, what is it? It is a game that was originally released in Japan all the way back in 1997, hence the name Hong Kong 97, and it was originally distributed on floppy disks. So I'm not very familiar with floppy disks, but it was on it, and the game was apparently developed by a Japanese game journalist who goes by the name Kowloon Kurosawa. I probably butchered his name, but I'll put his name up on screen. So, according to the developer, Hong Kong 97 was made as a satire of the video game industry at the time, and the game was only made in 7 days, apparently. That's actually quite good. If you take a look at the game, it does look shit, but like 7 days back in 1997, I think that's quite impressive. He did have help from a friend, but that is still pretty impressive, I guess. Okay, so what is the premise of Hong Kong 97? Like, what's going on? Like, what is this? Well, to kick things off, the game is set in China in the year 1997, the same year the game was made and released, and this is during the quote-unquote handover of Hong Kong, which is an event that occurred at midnight on the 1st of July of 1997, and this is when United Kingdom handed over Hong Kong to the People's Republic of China, and this ended 156 years of British rule. So yeah, that's a bit of a history lesson for you, but yeah, that's basically when this game is set and where it is set. So apparently during this time, Hong Kong was facing an increased crime rate due to immigration from mainland China, and because of this, the Hong Kong government hires a quote-unquote super powerful relative of Bruce Lee who goes by the name Chen. I just want to remind you guys, this is in the game, not real life. You may be wondering, why is Chen hired by the Hong Kong government to kill the entire Chinese population? So yeah, that's basically his job, to kill everyone in China. So that's just great. That's grand. So yeah, this is basically the objective of the game, to kill everyone from China. So the player plays as Chen, and he must shoot and avoid the Chinese population without dying. So yeah, that's a pretty cool game premise. So yeah, once Chen kills a person, it will just straight up show a flashing image of a real life dead body where the person has died. So that's just cool. There's also background music that's constantly playing in the game, and this is the only sound in the game. Like, there's no other sound effects or anything else. This is just the one sound in the game, and it just loops over and over. It never stops, and it's just some propaganda Chinese song. You might be familiar with it. It's called I Love Beijing, Tired Nandamen. Sorry if I mispronounced it again, but that's the song that's playing. It's a song that was written during the Cultural Revolution of China. So I think this is during, what's his name? Chairman Mao? Is it Mao Zedong? Yeah, I think that was during his time as like a ruler. There's also this guy called Tong Xiaoping. Sorry if I mispronounced that again. He is another real-life person, a Chinese government person who passed away in 1997, which is the same year the game was made and released. And when you search his name up on Google, Tong Xiaoping, it just comes up of images of him from the game. So yeah, that's just fun fact. Anyways, apparently this guy is brought back to life because when this game was released, he passed away. He's brought back to life somehow by the Chinese government because he is meant to be used as the quote-unquote ultimate weapon against Qin, and he is sort of a boss battle kind of character in the game, and the player must face Tong Xiaoping and try to defeat him. Even if you do successfully defeat Mr. Xiaoping, the game will just continue. Like, it will just keep going. Like, so yeah, you beat the boss, doesn't matter. The game will just continue on loop. Like, it will just go back. It will loop back, and you will just keep on going and going forever until you die. Alright, so it will just keep playing the same game until Qin dies. And when Qin does eventually die, you will be greeted with a very lovely game over screen. And it just says, Qin is dead! It just screams it. It's like, Qin is dead, he's dead! With a lot of exclamation marks. And in the background, you'll have an image of a, you guessed it, a real dead body! Which is actually quite sad because it's a real person. I don't know much about the dead body shown in the game over screen. I didn't really want to look too much into it. Don't quote me on this, but from what information I could get, the picture shown in the game over screen is from a documentary called The Yellow Tapes, I believe. I didn't look too much into what it was about, but I think it is a documentary about some kind of war. Just a little bit sad, you know. So yeah, you guys can see why this game is controversial because they're using real-life dead bodies. You know, that's not cool. The game surprisingly sold a big amount despite its nature, and it sold a whopping 30 copies. It wasn't a major, like, it was just some random guy's homemade video game, alright? So it wasn't like a company video game or anything. Despite this, the game has gained a cult following because of its low quality nature. Could you believe that? This game has somehow gained a cult following. That's actually kind of crazy to me. Can't believe that. I actually can't believe that. Let me know in the comments if you're a cult follower of Hong Kong 97. Honestly, seems like a pretty creepy game. Like, I do not want to play this, like, ever. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. That's Hong Kong 97. Boom. On to the next game. Alright, so if any of you guys watching know anything about controversial games, you guys should know about Postal 2. It was initially released on April 2003, so yeah, this is an oldie. If you guys know the name, Postal 2, there's Postal 1, which I will be talking about later in this video. Postal 2 has gained notoriety for its black comedy. And if you guys don't know what black comedy is, it's just humor for edgy teens, basically. The player plays as a redhead who is known as Postal Dude. All you do is you basically live out a week of Postal Dude's life. So you go from Monday to Friday, right? And he lives in a trailer. This trailer is located in a rundown desert sort of town. I'm not very familiar with these kinds of areas. And all you gotta do is you gotta complete random tasks. And these tasks are kind of like bland or like lame. It goes from getting milk to pissing on your dad's grave. So that's basically the goal. Completing these tasks may sound easy, you know, like getting milk. That doesn't sound that hard, right? And you may be wondering why killing people is even an option in the first place. You don't have to do that. You can get milk peacefully. Well, when Postal Dude tries to complete these tasks, he will just encounter a lot of dickheads. Like, all the NPCs are just like dicks. dicks. And yeah, they were just trying to make your day worse. And like, of course, it's a game, all right? It's not just going to be like, yeah, get the milk and you're all good to go. No, if you want to get milk, you might have to fight people just to get some milk. If you're familiar with Gary Coleman, you probably know that he was in this game. But in case you don't know, Postal Dude wants to get Gary Coleman's autograph. So this is one of the tasks for the day. There's a long line and, you know, that's annoying. And either Postal Dude can make the game fun and kill everyone and like shove a cat's bum on his gun. I don't know. And he can kill everyone and get in a boss fight with Gary Coleman. Yeah, there's a boss fight with Gary Coleman in the game. So if you want to do that, you gotta be a dick. Or you can just wait peacefully in line. So if you want to be peaceful, you can do that too. This is a very important aspect of the game that I think everyone should know. And it's that the violence is a completely optional part of the game. So yeah, basically Postal 2, the player basically has to get through the whole week in the game with this premise, you know, completing tasks, getting into weird shit. And by the time Friday rolls around, it's like an apocalypse now. Like it's just an apocalypse and there's like cats falling out of the sky for some reason. Despite all of this, if you get through Friday, Postal Dude will return to his trailer and he will get into an argument with his wife. Spoiler alert, the game will end with the sound of a gunshot and it will just be pitch black, like it will be black. You don't know what happened. So yeah, you can see why this game is on this list. It's a little bit, this game's a bit weird. In the country I live in, New Zealand, there was actually a big issue with Postal 2. And of course, Postal 2 was eventually banned in New Zealand and you can actually be fined up to $50,000. And of course, you can be sentenced to jail for up to 10 years just for distributing or purchasing Postal 2. Let's just hope that me talking about this game doesn't get me in any trouble. So, obviously it's not going to be anywhere near as controversial as the other games on this list. Red Dead 2 has temporarily gained controversy for surprisingly similar reasons to Postal 2. And I say temporarily because Red Dead 2 doesn't really have these issues anymore. If you're familiar with Red Dead Redemption 2, you'll know that the game is packed to the brim with like just heaps of content and stuff. Like it's a pretty big game. And that includes a suffragette. I don't know how you pronounce that. Suffragette? I don't know. But I don't know how you pronounce it. Suffragette, I'll put it on the screen. I'm sure you guys know what a suffragette is. I'm not very familiar with what it is, but if you're like me, it apparently means a woman who's protesting for the right to vote. And of course, that's an RDR2 because it's set in 1899, and from what I've seen, that's like 20 years before women got the right to vote. I don't know why that took so long for me to explain, but yep. Anyways, that's in Red Dead 2, and of course, there are people out there who have recorded themselves going up to these specific NPCs only to tie them up, beat them up, ride a horse while dragging them behind it, or maybe just throw them into a river with like alligators in it. So yeah, all that awesome stuff us humans do, and on top of that, they just record themselves and yeah, they just post it online. I don't know. To be honest, I can imagine teenagers like me just doing this for like laughs, like within their friend group and not taking it seriously, but that's not really an excuse. To put a cherry on top, people were commenting underneath these kinds of videos and just saying like terrible stuff like quote unquote rock stars finally making our dreams come true and just dumb shit like that. And I genuinely think these people are just genuine dumbasses that have a lot to learn. Carmageddon is another controversial game that was released back in 1997. So yep, another 1997 game. It was originally meant for PCs, and the premise of the game is basically you're just a street racer, this angry looking guy. Basically, you're racing against other people who are obviously, you know, AI people. It's not an online game. And yeah, you're just in this random city in the middle of night, and yeah, you're just racing people pretty pretty fun, right? Pretty cool, pretty basic premise, right? There's actually multiple ways to win the game. The first one being just complete the course. Just race the whole course and complete it. That's one way of winning. A second way of winning is, of course, by quote-unquote wasting all the other cars. I don't exactly know what that means, but I'm just gonna assume it means be a dickhead and ram into people and destroy their cars or something weird. And this is when the controversial part kicks in. If you want to win the game, the third and I believe the last way to win the game is, of course, by killing all the pedestrians in the level. So yeah, if you don't want to race, or if you don't want to be bothered killing the other racers, why don't you kill the innocent civilians on the side of the road? Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, that's basically the controversial part of Carmageddon. If you take a look at it today, you'll probably be looking at it with a straight face. Like, you're probably gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not that bad. I think the main source or fuel for most of the controversy is just from the fact that this is 1997 and I think the world just wasn't used to video games in general. The world was still adjusting to this cool new thing, and by today's standards, Carmageddon is a little bit silly, a little bit lame. You know, it's a bit tame. It's a bit tame and lame. Nowadays, you can just blast someone's head off with your shotgun, and that's just normal gameplay. You know, even a baby could play Carmageddon, but back in the day, people pooed themselves. That's just understandable. That's just how it was back in the day. Back in the good old 90s, people were just inexperienced and just didn't know what to do. And so some countries like Germany and the United Kingdom tried to censor this by replacing the humans with zombies and green blood, or they use robots instead that spill black oil when you run them over. So yeah, I guess that works. Remember Postal 2 and how I talked about that? Now we're on to Postal 1. And you may be confused. You may be going like, hold on, Postal 2? Why didn't you talk about that later? Why didn't you start with Postal 1? Well, if you're familiar with the Postal series, you probably know why. I've left the best for last, I guess. Oh, okay, whoops. Someone's ringing. Okay, hold on, I'll be back. So yeah, what was I saying? You thought Postal 2 was bad? Postal 1 is really bad. Postal 1 is yet another game on this list that was released in 1997. Sounds like that year was a very edgy period for video games. I don't know why there was so many 1997 controversial video games, but that's what happened. If you enjoyed Postal 2 for its crude humor or like making fun of everyone, you know, like it's a fun, jokey game. Well, if you like that, you're not gonna like Postal 1 because this game's messed up. This game is just messed up, dude. The game's objective is literally just kill people, like with your gun. Like you just kill people with your gun, and that's it. That's the goal of the game. Nothing else. You don't get money. You don't buy shit in the shop or whatever. No, you just kill people. So yeah, sorry, there's no cats in the game to stick their bum on your gun or whatever. You can't do that. This is a serious game, alright? This is serious. Well, somewhat. It has maybe a little bit of humor, but besides that, it's just kill people and move on to the next stage. In Postal 1, you're playing as the same redhead guy from Postal 2, Postal Dude. There are some theories out there about it being two different guys, but I'm just gonna say it's the same guy. I believe it's the same guy, but I could be wrong. Unlike last time, where the player could decide whether they want to actually hurt people or not, Postal 1 forces it upon you. So if you want to be the good guy, you can't do it, man. You can't. You're forced to be the bad guy. If you want to progress in the game, you have to kill people. If you want to be a good guy, this is not the game to be a good guy, alright? So, sorry. Now, you may be wondering why we're doing this. Like, why are we killing people? Like, come on. Is it because the people in the game did something wrong? Is it because they're criminals or deserve to be killed? Nope. No, these are just completely innocent civilians that you just go around and kill. The reason for that in Postal Dude's head is because there's been a hate plague released in the town he lives in, and Postal Dude believes he's the only person who hasn't been infected with this quote-unquote hate plague. And he believes the cure to this plague is to simply kill everyone. Yeah, that's just, yeah. The game is obviously much darker in nature compared to Postal 2, and there isn't even any music. Like, even Hong Kong 97 had some music. All you're gonna hear is just your gun and just people dying. Actually, that is a lie. There is some music in the game, but it only plays in between each stage. I'm not sure if you can even call it music. It's just this really weird, messed up shit. I'll probably just play you guys a little bit of one of them. So yeah, that gives you a taste of the Postal 1 music. I actually used one of their soundtracks for my outro back when I was an edgy teen. That's when I made it. I should probably mention that the last stage is located at an elementary school. Yeah. Luckily, if you try to kill anyone at the school, I can't believe I'm saying this, your gun isn't gonna work, alright? So that's good and convenient. And Postal Dude will end up having a mental breakdown, and the game will start to wrap up, and it will show a disturbing image of just Postal Dude locked up in a mental asylum, and the game will end. So yeah, this is a very fun family game, but yeah, that's just how the game ends. Yeah. I think it's important to note that this game was released just before the Columbine shooting occurred, but after that, a lot of similar events have occurred over the years, unfortunately. Because of this, Postal 1 removed the elementary scene. According to the developers, this was because it lost its shock value. It's such a common event nowadays, and yeah, it's just sad. Alright guys, I think that'll do for today's video. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I think that was enough controversial video games. It got a little bit crazy. But thank you guys for watching to the end. And if you didn't watch to the end, why didn't you? What's wrong with you? If you enjoyed the fact that I'm not talking about Roblox, let me know in the comments below. Thanks guys for sticking around. I'm trying to get on the YouTube grind because I'm a lazy bum. But I'm gonna try and, better myself. Get on the YouTube grind. I always say that, but I don't do it. But hey, maybe if I say it again, it'll work. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day or a good night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys later. Yeah, that was kind of creepy. I don't know what it is, but